Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports, we connect the dots so you know the actions you can take out your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof of your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest.
Welcome back.
Jim Norton is in the house.
Feeling about this.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this too. Good morning, Jim Norton.
Good morning, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind
to be
you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. Got to say thank you. It's a big thank you day. We are celebrating. It's a birthday. The United States Air Force, it's their birthday today, September 18th. You got to say thank you and appreciative of the United States Air Force. Wow, is that true, Josh? It's only 50 years old. Oh, wait a second. I don't know. Maybe I don't understand the picture. The picture says 1947 to 1997. So I don't know what that means, though. I know that so if they started in 47, that means they're almost as old as Jim. Not quite.
Yeah.
That's at 76 years old, something like that, 77 years old.
But that'd be right. It started, my dad was Army Air Corps.
Okay.
And he chose, when they started the Air Force, he chose to stay flying for the Army. And because the Army covered Air Force, was.
No, I don't understand Air Force, though. That kind of, I don't tell me I know they're the planes. But the Army has the Army has an air squadron.
Oh, everybody has.
The Marines have the air squadron. The Navy has the air squadron. And then there's the Air Force. The only one that I don't think has an air squadron would be the Coast Guard and Space Force.
Well, Space Force.
Space Force is all in there.
I don't know what they have yet. But the Coast Guard has helicopters, rescue planes.
Yeah,
they have a lot of aircraft.
So every branch has
some sort of
planes in it,
yes.
But the United States Air Force, born September 18th, 1947. So if my math is correct, that's about 76 years old?
76.
53 and 23 is 76 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Almost as old as...
Almost.
Okay, let's move right along because I've beaten anorexia and I've beaten this one to death. So today is also National Cheeseburger Day.
Oh, yes. That was on this morning.
National Cheese. And I heard there's a lot of restaurants. It's kind of a scam. So it's National Cheeseburger Day. And I can understand that. I like cheeseburgers. You told me
there was going to be In-N-Out here. What happened?
Yeah, well,
I was hoping.
You came in and then you'll go out. That's the extent of that one, right?
I came in and I go out. Oh, I thought it was the other one.
So, McDonald's are going to do, I think they've got a 1-cent burger or something, but you have to get their app for it.
Oh, okay.
And Wendy's has another one where you have to get their app for it.
Does In-N-Out have anything? I wonder. I didn't look.
They have a line. So that's but we went to.
That's so true.
We had Five Guys for dinner last night. Have you ever gone to Five Guys?
I have, but I haven't been in a while. But they make a good burger.
So something I don't know, but
you didn't go?
No, I went there, picked up dinner for the family, and I actually got a hot dog there.
That's right. They do have hot dogs.
So think about this one. It's a hot dog, and they put cheese along the bottom of the bun, not the fake stuff you get at the stadium, but real cheese.
Right.
Hot dog, put some bacon along the sides,
Nice.
and then put your condiments on there.
That's actually sounds good.
I digress.
Do you remember the Carl's Jr. When you were little? The Carl's Jr. had hot dogs.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember it?
Used to go to a Superstar.
He started as hot dog.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like Slater's.
Yeah.
Oh, well. But we
digress.
We digress.
We digress.
Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 82 points. The S&P 500 is up 11.5. The NASDAQ is up 27. And oil is up $1.24 a barrel. It fascinates me when I look at the oil prices because, obviously oil prices then move over to gasoline prices, obviously. So gasoline, national number, $3.88 a gallon. $5.69 in the formerly Golden State. And Josh is at $4.92 over there in Nevada. But my point here is the ignorance of the media and how many people follow what they have to say. So I enjoy listening to Channel 5 News in the morning. Of course, I listen to several news broadcasts, read several papers, or not paper anymore. It's all online. But I'm listening to them explaining gas prices and why they've taken such a big jump again. Well, there's been a flood in Libya, and we've got a special blend of gasoline in California. And they come up with all of this hogwash. And they don't say that, well, if there's a flood in Libya, why is California almost $2 a gallon more than the rest of the United States? Did that flood in Libya not affect the rest of the country? It only affected the California?
It's a magic flood.
It's the idiots that we elect in California, right? Keep electing the same idiots, and you wonder why we get what we get. We're $1.80 a gallon more than the national average in California right now. $5.69 a gallon for gasoline in California. The only state that's even close to us is Washington, right? And they've got their cap and trade tax.
What's Hawaii?
Hawaii is $4.79 a gallon.
Cheaper.
They're about $1 a gallon cheaper than we are in California. And they probably get their gasoline shipped in from California, right? I mean, they don't have any
volcano gas.
They don't have any refineries in Hawaii that I've seen. I mean, they refine coffee, they refine sugar, they refine pineapple, coconut, cows, ethanol. No, that's a different story, right? But they don't have.
Now that's a question. Do they have ethanol because of the amount of sugar cane that can be grown in Hawaii? Was there ethanol? I know
they got a lot of cow farms, so there's a lot of ethanol coming out of those cow farms.
Nuts into the air.
but the issue is why do we keep following these idiots on the news, and why don't we hold them accountable to telling us the truth? California likes to tax, and Californians like to elect people who want to tax us more. It's plain and simple. It doesn't take rocket science. Unbelievable. And an article today in Bloomberg, if you so care to, U.S. consumer prices jump, straining household budgets even more.
Surprise.
That's a headline there. CPI rose 0.6% in August, most since inflation peaked in 2022. Why do I bring that up? Well, it's going to affect inflation. What is the Federal Reserve doing about inflation? They're raising interest rates. Well, we know what I think about the Federal Reserve.
Such an idiot.
Yes.
Such an idiot.
But do they need to increase interest rates to get a hold on inflation? Or might there be another option? How about not increasing interest rates and let more money run off their balance sheet? What does that mean? Not putting as much money into the system. Inflation. Too much money chasing too few goods. Think about some of these things. There are alternatives. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, are more homes coming onto the market? We'll talk about it. Details to consider when you pick a new credit card, all that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You got the phone, make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates. Don't know APR, points paid, points received. We only know the locked rates, with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. 30-year conforming loans on Friday locked at 7.185, jumbos 7.397, FHA 6.978, USDA, that's the rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.996, and the best loan on the market for those that earned it, the 30-year VA loan, 6.784. And if you want to get our report every morning, we send it out as early as we can. RSRMarketMinute.com. RSRMarketMinute.com. We give you a commentary of what we see in the mortgage world. RSRMarketMinute.com. Let's see what's going on today in the markets. Well, the 10-year Treasury is down 1 basis point, 4.326. The S&P 500 up 1. We're looking at the 10-year Treasury up 2 basis points. Not a whole lot going on in the markets this morning. We're waiting until Wednesday. That's when the Federal Reserve is going to give us their latest market analysis. Financial Times article on the front page. Financial Times, there was an article this morning breaking down a Chicago School of Business survey comprised of 40 economists. You know what happens when you have 40 economists just doing a survey? You probably get 80 or 90 opinions. Just throw that out there. Shared a very hawkish tone, with 90% believing the Fed has more work to do. Half are expecting one more 25 basis point hike, while 35% believe there's going to be 2 more hikes. Stark contrast to market expectations, which think the Fed will pause this week. They're not going to raise rates this week. The thing that's going to affect the markets this week, I'm just going to throw that out there for you, is what Chairman Powell has to say in his commentary.
Such an idiot.
Yes, I know. So he'll come out. They make their statement at 11 o'clock our time on Wednesday. 11:30, he comes out with prepared remarks. That generally, the market does better with the prepared remarks. Then the problem is when people start asking him questions, he answers them. Unlike the President of the United States, but he does answer them. And when he answers them, that's what causes all the problems in the market. So that will be coming out. We do have the majority of the Federal Reserve of the country, economists, business folks, are basically saying they're not going to hike now. There's about a 30% chance of a hike at the November meeting. I'm going to throw out there they will hike at the November meeting. Why? We're going to still have another CPI report. We're going to have another PCE report. We're going to have another PPI report. Probably 1 or 2 of those. I'm not exactly sure how many come out before their next meeting. And they're going to show higher inflation. We know they're going to show higher inflation. Look at gas prices. Gas prices affect everything. Now, I know that they come out with their core PCE, which removes food and energy. So supposedly it takes the gas prices out. But just think, do you want to go and buy a new pot or a new pan or a new football or new tires or anything else that you might buy that is not food? Anything you buy, food included. Food, they take the food out so it doesn't count twice. But everything goes by trucks, trains, planes, or automobiles. Gas prices are going up. You say, oh, Ron, but we got electric vehicles. What creates the electricity? Well, diesel. So that's going up too. So the bottom line is everything's going up. The Fed's going to say, we haven't done enough. So they'll have to raise rates. Just throw that out there for you. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you need your when you're thinking about the next home loan, how about trying to just get out of debt? Yeah, Geneva's got programs for that to help you use some of your equity to get out of debt. Does that think about that one. Use equity to get out of debt. Sounds like we'd be getting into more debt, doesn't it? But no, it's not getting into more debt. The idea is it's changing your debt from one place to the other. And when you move it from one place to the other, what ends up happening is it might be that your payments go down. Just throw that out there for you. Fun stuff, Mr. Norton. He just sits here listening to me.
I'm mesmerized listening to it all.
He listens to me here, and I appreciate you listening and piping in when you're not even on the show.
I giggle a little when I unfortunately when I'm here. Hey, I want to be.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know, but I want to. You did the other day. You did the millennial and the old man.
Right.
Can I do the baby boomer and the old man?
Which are you?
I don't know. Which one do you want to be?
You can be.
I think I'm closer to a baby boomer than
you. You're both, aren't you?
I am actually.
I don't even know what the years are for the baby boomers.
But well, it depends on which one you come up with. I'm either a baby boomer or I'm the.
I think you're the silent generation.
I'm the silent generation. Yeah, something like that.
I guess you do fit into
that way I get a title.
You fit into the baby boomers because I think you're somewhere between 1946 and 1964.
It depends on which one. I've seen it be as low as 57. It just depends on which one it is.
It says 57 to 75 years old.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm an old man.
He must be in the old man section.
Which way you want to go?
He's got to be in the old man section because he's asking to think twice.
We'll flip a coin to see who gets to be the baby boomer.
Okay, so tell me your thoughts on what we talked about as far as the baby boomers and the old man. Is that what you're?
It's interesting because the big conversation obviously is interest rates,
right? And
interest rates are at 7. And you and I have talked about interest rates in the past. I firmly believe that there's a possibility we'll get back down to around 5s, the 5 and 6.
When?
And I don't know when.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying there's that. I
always love it. We're gonna get to 5 or 6 just right now, in my lifetime, or
interest rates are going to stay, I think, relatively flat. Depends on what inflation is doing, but it also depends on. I don't like inflation as much as I like prices.
I should harass you a little bit.
Why is that? Which part?
Because well, one of my common comments is sitting on that fence must hurt, man. Just throw that out there. Yeah. Interest rates are going to go down to 5 or 6 in my lifetime or before.
Yeah, exactly. How much life? Yeah, how much possibility?
It's all about inflation. Okay, what's inflation going to do? It'll go up or down. Okay.
Well, but prices right now are going up because, like you said, diesel's going up, everything's going up. So obviously inflation's going up. The problem is they never talk about, is there going to be deflation? What happens when prices go up is they generally stay up.
Right.
They don't really drop back down, not unless there's an impetus like change in oil drilling or something. Maybe the gas price will drop. So given all that, we're coming into the election year. Nobody wants to move anywhere. I mean, not move their house, but you know what I'm saying? The government doesn't want to change anything. The administration doesn't want to change anything. Nobody wants to make any radical
Well, that's because
decisions.
my elected official is good. Yours isn't.
Yes.
That's my thesis all the time, is otherwiess we wouldn't have
Which one's mine again? I
don't
remember.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Though, but what I'm saying is, none of us like what's going on in Congress, but we reelect the same people over and over again.
Right, doing the same.
So it must be that mine's good, yours isn't. I don't get to vote on yours.
Right. I don't.
But I keep voting for the same people on mine.
But the point being is that 7 is going. The 7% interest rate is going to be with us for a while. I think people.
But being that you're the old man during this
I think
conversation,
people are miscued too about 7. 7 has been a great number. 8 was the number for 10, 15 years, maybe even longer, 20 years. And then all of a sudden we had this drop. What does the drop last? That lasted about 10 years.
Well, that was what my
Interesting.
point was, is that, when I was chatting with Mary, the millennial, her generation only knows of, they only remember that 2, 3, 4 rate.
Right.
Being that I'm the old man and so are you.
You're
older.
I was thrilled when I refied my first townhome. I refied it at 7. I think it was 7.5. I was thrilled
because you remember. I don't know. Josh might have it there, but I think we did the normal rate or the average rate. I think it was like 7.18% is a historic average of interest rates.
The only difference, of course, is that that townhome I think was about 100. Let's just say 150,000 roughly.
But you earned for significantly
now, today,
less.
for the same person buying a townhome, it's 700,000 on top of 7%.
You also paid 19 cents for gas.
We also did,
and made 25 cents an hour.
But exactly. Everybody says, "Well, you paid so little for gas." It's like, but we didn't make much.
Right.
I mean,
so it's all relative.
Right. I mean, I got out of college and got my first job, and I made a big $6.50 an hour. It's like, I really thought there was going to be, I thought I was doing pretty good actually. But at the same time, I mean, people have visions. I mean, what are they talking now? The minimum wage is $15.50 and wanting to go up.
Well, in Anaheim, they want to go to 25.
25
for entertainment workers.
For Disney.
But they claim it's for Disney, but it's going to end up putting places like Camelot out of business,
right? But then
movie theaters out of business.
Just did all the food service. They just bumped those up to 22.
Which they're going to end up putting all these people out of business. You talk about can a movie theater afford most of them are going out of business anyway. Right. But can they afford a 40% increase in wages?
The big headline I saw was McDonald's saying that this is, it was a McDonald's franchisee was saying this is just devastating everything. But McDonald's won't go away, but some stores will go away. The stores that are underperforming,
I don't think so, Jim.
The underperforming stores, they might close them. The consolidation.
I'm going to talk to you about
Starbucks is consolidating.
I'm going to talk to you about what I experienced when I went to Napa a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
At McDonald's. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, are more homes coming onto the market? Details to consider when you pick a new credit card and more. And reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Are more homes coming onto the market? An important factor shaping today's market is the number of homes for sale. And if you're considering whether or not to list your house, that's one of the biggest advantages you have right now. When housing inventory is this low, your house will stand out, especially if it's priced right. But there are some early signs that more listings are coming. According to the latest data, new listings, homeowners who just put their house up for sale, are trending up. Here's a look at why this is noteworthy and what it may mean for you. More homes are coming onto the market than usual. It's well known that the busiest time in the housing market each year is the spring buying season. That's why there's a predictable increase in the volume of newly listed homes throughout the first half of the year. Sellers are anticipating this and ramping up for the months when buyers are most active. But as the school year kicks off and as the holidays approach, the market cools. It's what's expected. But here's what's surprising. Based on the latest data from Realtor.com, there's an increase in the number of sellers listing their houses later this year than usual. A peak this late in the year is not typical. You can see both the normal seasonal trend and the unusual August in the graph that we've got from showing right now. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials with ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, the area there in red where that's circled, showing the only time. Now, we've got this graph goes back 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. August of 23 is the only time when we see an increase, and it's the only time I remember going as far back as you want to, that where we see an increase in the number of properties newly coming onto the market in the month of August. As Realtor.com explains, quote, while inventory continues to be in short supply, August witnessed an unusual uptick in newly listed homes compared to July, hopefully signaling a return in seller activity heading toward the fall season, unquote. While this is only 1 month of data, it's unusual enough to note. It's still too early to say for sure if this is a trend will continue, but it's something you'll want to stay ahead of if it does. What does this mean for you? If you've been putting off selling your house, now may be the sweet spot to make your move. That's because if this trend continues, you'll have more competition the longer you wait. And if your neighbor puts their house up for sale too, it means you may have to share buyer's attention with that other homeowner. If you sell now, you can beat your neighbors to the punch. But even with more homes coming onto the market is still well below normal supply levels, and that inventory deficit isn't going to be reversed overnight. Another graph helps put this into context so you can see the opportunity you still have. New listing count each August of each year, 17 was 500,000, 18 was 492,000, 2019 was 480,000. 2023, 387,000, still well below. Bottom line, even though inventory is still low, you don't want to wait for more competition to pop up in your neighborhood. You still have an incredible opportunity to sell your house today. Give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's chat about a game plan. That is the real-time real estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continue our conversation. Jim Norton's in the house. I don't know. He watched the Millennial and Old Man show, so now he wants the old man, I guess, because I think we're both in the same old man, baby boomer category.
We could call it the baby boomers. That just sounds bad. Let's go.
I'm not even going there.
The old man and the old man.
Not it. What is it?
We have to work on our.
Wasn't that Jack Lemmon and some other guy?
The Odd Couple?
No, two old men. The old men that were on the bench. I don't remember the name of the show.
I know
I'm bad with. It's my sometimes.
I wish I could remember.
It's my sometimes is kicking in.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's two old men. They were sitting on the bench talking, and it's I don't remember. But I was sharing with you, what does $25 an hour do when you get into the entertainment? Well, this happened to be the entertainment area of Anaheim trying to do this. But as unemployment numbers go up, and people like Bernie Sanders don't understand this part, but I was driving along Highway 5 going to an event in Napa, pull into a McDonald's because we left very early in the morning. I wanted to beat the traffic out of the Southern California area. So we got up to the Grapevine, pull into, or maybe out into Buttonwillow area. I don't know what, somewhere along the line.
The Buttonwillow McDonald's. Been there.
You walk in there, and there's like one cash register and about 8 kiosks.
Yes.
Where you actually put your order in yourself.
Yes.
So
what does that tell you?
tells you that, you know something, you can get paid $40 an hour and have no work, right? I mean, you can set a minimum wage as high as you want, and no one's willing to pay it. They go to more automation. Why do you think all the apps are so good? Starbucks now. I mean, I very rarely ever communicate with somebody at a cash register at Starbucks.
Yes, I agree with you.
Right, all these apps are basically for the point. You and I were talking off air that I got 5 guys for the family for dinner last night. Put it all in on the internet. Walked up to the store. I'm here. Oh, girl yells, "Ron's in the house." Not that I'm there so often, but you know,
Right.
my whole interaction with her was maybe 30 words.
Right. Have you noticed that sometimes that you go to these heavy internet, very app-based pickups like Chipotle and McDonald's, the lines are getting smaller because but the bags are getting larger on the pickup. Look at the
Right.
Target redid the local Target by me. They redid their pickup area.
Were you the one that got in
Made
trouble?
it permanent, where it used to be kind of temporary. They've turned it into permanent, and then somebody opened.
Were you the one that got in trouble at Target? I heard
No.
somebody got in trouble for going and sitting in the break room.
No, that was.
You did your own checkout,
Yeah,
and
I did
you were in the
your own
break
self-
room.
Have you noticed the self checkout is longer than the regular?
No, I don't like the self checkout. I get it wrong every time. Even I went to Costco and tried to do a self checkout.
Well, Costco's terrible because you're going to unload. You're going to go to Costco, fill up a cart, and then unload it to check out. It's like if I'm going to load it, I might as well have somebody check it for me. I mean, I don't.
And then you got to go check it out anyway at the front door.
And then of course you always leave something that's not in the weight thing, and it yells at you. I get yelled at by the automated than more.
I feel like I'm at home. I don't have to go to Costco for that. So,
but the in the real estate sense, okay, you raise the rate to 25 for somebody, let's say McDonald's, and our entertainment, and you're trying to catch up to the housing. You're not building any more housing rapidly, and the cost of housing to build the housing is going up because the cost of materials, because we're putting so many restrictions on all the.
You can stop right there. All the restrictions. I mean, I was watching the president of the Builders Association this morning on one of the business channels.
Okay.
And that was exactly what he was saying is, we don't mind building as far as being a builder, and we can build more, but the restrictions and the time it takes to get from land acquisition to legitimately breaking ground. That holding cost
California,
is huge.
They always say, "Oh, we're trying to ease those procedures," and
where
and it's like I don't know, because
and it used to be in that world.
If not, you're exactly, and it's gotten more restrictive, and then on top of it, the idea that you're also going to encounter more lawsuits because the NIMBYs don't want the more traffic.
The who?
The NIMBY's not in my backyard.
Oh, okay.
Got to be a NIMBY. So there's a NIMBY.
I'm a simple guy.
What was a YIMBY? Yes, in my backyard. That was a San Francisco thing. I think they've gone away now.
Yeah, those are in the front yard here along the street curb.
In San Francisco. But you know what the point being is,
it used to be don't drop a quarter in San Francisco. Now you can't find it because the homeless are all over there. I mean, it
just rolls around.
Even
building multifamily is getting the prices are doing nothing but going up. The land is more difficult to find, and people are more worried about the amount of additional cars on streets that they're coming on, and so but it's not lowering the price of an apartment. Apartment rentals are going up just as fast.
Sure, but the home builder sentiment is going down. Wonder why that might be.
They sell what they've got.
They sell what they've got. They don't want to go through all the rigmarole. I mean, I was reading an article that the CBOE, and they're basically one of the big financial exchanges, is thinking about leaving Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've been there forever, and they're thinking about leaving Chicago because of regulation like we have in California.
Well, also Chicago, probably, I don't know what their employee base is, but a lot of these people are leaving because the taxes in Chicago, Illinois taxes are at about 11%.
They want to do a financial services tax.
proper thing's lovely compared to Illinois. You move from here to Chicago thinking, oh, I just bought a $200,000 less house. Yeah, but you also have a.
So what do you think is going to happen to housing in California, Jim?
I think it's going to slow. You hear a lot about, Disney building out in Rancho Mirage. There was the one that supposedly the internet gurus unveiled up by Travis Air Force Base, a new town and all this. But no, we have consistently been 4 million. I think it was 4,000 units a year in LA County by the old SCAG projections, which was the Southern California Association of Government. I think that's been on the 4,000 short has been on the books for about 30 years. So that'll just give you an idea that we are short of housing, and we cannot build enough.
The question, though, is, California schools have lost 300,000 kids.
Right.
And we've now seeing that the population is leaving California. Do you think it's going to continue being where we're still short?
It's going to be it'll be years
before it catches through.
Before the leaving versus moving is going to catch it. But right now you've got a pent up demand. You could probably easily drop 1 million units of housing in California, and you probably would absorb them all in 1 year, which would be surprising.
Wow.
But that's a prediction by me. That's not anything I would back up. But you look
but
at
you could go work at the Federal Reserve. They don't have economists there either. Just throw that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, more with Jim Norton. Details to consider when you pick a new credit card. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions. Details to consider when you pick a new credit card. If you can get a new credit card. I know we're living on them right now because costs are going up. Savings are going down. Credit card debt nationally is going up. So we know that people are living off their credit cards. There's no such thing as a quote-unquote perfect or best credit card. Yet there may be a credit card offer that's a better fit for you compared to other available options. If you're in the market for a new credit card, it's important not to rush the process. Instead, consider the following 5 details as you narrow down your options and choose the next credit card application you want to submit. Number 1, FICO scores and credit history. One of the first details you should consider when you're ready to pick out a new credit card is the condition of your credit. When you apply for a credit card, the lender will typically review your credit report from one of or more of the major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. The lender will likely analyze your FICO scores as part of your credit card application as well. Your FICO scores, not credit scores, but FICO scores are based on the information in your credit reports. These details help the card issuer understand how you've managed credit in the past and determine how likely you are to repay the money you borrow in the future as promised. Because your FICO scores and credit reports generally play a role in your ability to qualify for a new credit card and your borrowing terms, it's wise to review your credit details yourself before you apply for a new account. You can access your FICO scores online at myfico.com, and you can get free copies of each of the 3 credit reports online as well from annualcreditreport.com. Number 2, credit issuers' qualification requirements. The next detail to consider is the type of credit cards you're likely to qualify for based on the condition of your credit reports and FICO scores. If you have an exceptional FICO score, you'll probably have an easier time qualifying for credit cards and other types of financing. A poor FICO score, on the other hand, could limit your options, and you might need to focus on repairing your credit. CreditSanitizer.com. Some card issuers may share their basic qualification credit requirements for different credit cards prior to the application process. For example, while you might not know the exact FICO score you need to qualify for a credit card from XYZ Bank, whoever that is, the bank may disclose that applicants need a good FICO score or better to be eligible for the account. Most credit scores have a 300 to 850 range. A higher score indicates a lower credit risk to lenders, while a lower score signals the opposite. Typically, if you have a FICO score of 670 to 739, a lender would consider you to have good credit. Each lender sets their own credit criteria. Next, look at the annual fee. There's a lot of them without an annual fee, but take a look and see if the card you're looking for matches and the fees are in line with what you're trying to accomplish. Number 4, APR, the annual percentage rate. That takes into account the fees and the interest if you're not paying the card off in full. Don't forget, pay your cards the right way. RSRCCpayment.com, RSRCCpayment.com. Number 5, benefits and rewards. A lot of cards offer all kinds of rewards these days. Points, miles, cash back. I'm not a big fan of the airline cards. They were great when they first came out because no one else had those kind of offers. But now they come out and you're kind of limited to where you can use the points and fees. So just remember that part. Bottom line, trying to find the right credit card may sometimes feel overwhelming. There are many options. Give us a call. We'll give you a hand. That's the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. Continue our conversation with Jim Norton this morning. He's with Realty Pro 100, just chatting about what's going on in the world right now, in the real estate world, sometimes even the economics world. Some unintended consequences of legislation right now.
Again, like we said, we were talking SB 9, where it allows the ADU to be built on the proportionate lot, but we won't go into that. But it was a great idea, but then now all of a sudden costs have gone up so much and interest rates have gone up so much. How to fund the construction of that ADU is very difficult.
I want to get away from that one for a second, Jim, because I want you to talk a little bit about this new legislation to water down Prop 13.
That is
where's it heading?
ACA 13.
ACA 13.
I tried to get a little vocal on for me, and I was trying to post it out there to call your representative, and the CAR, California Association of Realtors, was sending out a lot of about it. But basically, what it's changing, and they disguised it as it allows cities to have referendums and bonds and things on the ballot with a lower percentage of voters. You could do, majority rather than 2/3 of the total voters, that type of thing. And so, but what it also puts a hole in is when there's a referendum or a vote on like reducing Prop 13, like there was last year. They've taken those percentages of how close they got to maybe overturning it, and they've put it now so that this ACA 13 works in that favor. And so they don't need the 2/3, they need the only 50%. And so they disguise these things so that people believe it. If you're a homeowner, Prop 13 would do, if it went away, it would reset your property taxes and to whatever it is reset to at the time. So let's say right now it's at 1%. Let's say it just goes up to 2%. You're going to double your property tax. This is true for industrial, commercial, multifamily, single family, town, whatever it is. This also affects new homeowners, people try looking to buy a new home, because now not only do you have the extra cost of land, the cost of the construction, you have additional property taxes that you're going to pay every year on that house. So your payment could be tremendously affected. The reset of property taxes in California, I mean, those that want the extra tax for California benefits or whatever whatever the legislature
It's going to all be for the kids and the seniors. We know what it's going to be for because they tell us that about everything.
Yeah, it's
Yet
going to be
our
it's going to be
education
for
system.
the schools. It's going to be for this. So, but at the same time, it's going to be devastating on people of fixed income, people buying a house, young people with that had just gotten into a house that were trying to afford that payment, and all those in the middle that aren't set. It could be just the reset of taxes. Now, don't get me wrong a little bit, like we were just saying earlier. You move here to Illinois and you think, oh, I'm buying a bigger house in Illinois for cheaper than I can buy in California, but it carries an 11% tax rate. So don't think it's that much cheaper a month. It might be cheaper in the purchase, but it might not be cheaper in the monthly.
In the long run.
Texas too. I mean, let's be honest. Texas has property tax. It's about 5%, I think, roughly. I could be wrong, but
no, Texas does have a high property tax, but they have no income tax.
They have no income tax, but it's offset by your property tax.
Yeah, so every state has to get their money somewhere.
Everything's got a little, there's a little secret to everything, and I think that's one of the things.
The most important part of the whole conversation, though, is just Google ACA 13, and you can see how the Jarvis organization, basically that's Howard Jarvis was the creator of Prop 13. They're saying, hey, let's not mess with something that's been working for 40 years. And the California Special Districts Association, about what they're about. They're about taxing you more.
Idiot.
Not that you want to know my opinion, but they're basically saying it protects simple majority. So if the legislature votes for this, then basically on the March 5th, 2024 presidential election, there'll be a measure on there saying, do you want to leave it as 2/3 of the state has to approve new taxes? Or do you want to go to a simple majority? And if you're thinking about going to only a simple majority, raising taxes, I would say hold your wallets, because it's going to get even worse. We're already the number one state in taxes in the union. I think it's number 1 or number 2. And it's going to get even higher.
Well, that and the debt of the state is going to get higher because they'll go for more bonds. I think, what are we carrying? $200 billion in bond debt.
And don't let them fool you, because
that bond. I mean, we talk about the national debt. No one ever talks about California's debt. It's tremendous.
Yeah, and I would say, just be real careful, because what's going to end up happening is it's not going to be taxing the wealthy. It will not, because what did Tesla do? They left the state of California. Right. What did Toyota do? They left the state of California. So those that can afford to leave, the higher net worth individuals, they're going to leave and leave the tax bill to you and me. So just be aware that no matter what they want to tell you, it's going to tax everybody, not just the wealthy, because the wealthy are going to actually find ways to leave the state. Great information, as always. I appreciate you coming in on short notice, Jim.
My last point is that if you're thinking about, selling and moving out of state, that's the time you get together with you, your accountant, your realtor, and come up with a plan. It isn't just selling your house. It's where are you going and what the consequences of that are going to be. It's not always going to be roses. Or what is it? The grass is not always going to be greener on the other side of the hill. I'd leave you with that.
There you go. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean, who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.